So, should Ched Evans be allowed to return to football? It's a question we've asked before. We're asking it again. Should he get a second chance like most other criminals get? Or does his role as a footballer and his conviction for rape make a difference? Joining me now is Polly Neate from the charity Women's Aid and Mark Johnson from User Voice, a charity which helps former offenders. And Mark, first, you've been in prison yourself for violence and drug offences. But you were sorry for those, right?
Not sure at the time. I don't think I was, actually.
But you are now?
No, I was sort of sorry when I understood the true meaning of sorry. At the time, the justice system, you just go through it, you go to prison, you come back out, and nobody actually challenges you about your behaviour at all. And so it took a while to actually understand the consequences to my actions.
Because Diane Keep has got in touch. She says she's all for second chances and criminals being rehabilitated, as you successfully have been. But you cannot be given a second chance if you do not fully accept that you did wrong in the first place. And Ched Evans hasn't done that.
Right. We have a justice system in this country that is separated from emotive images of who should be sentenced to what and what crime deserves which kind of sort of what kind of forgiveness, and I believe in that. And it's the full facts of this case are held within the court system, where there was a jury and a judge and professionals involved in it that sentenced a man to prison for his crime. In this country, when you've served your sentence for crime, in fact he actually hasn't finished it serving because he's still on an order, and then after that he'll still be on a sex offender register.
So you think he shouldn't be judged by the rest of the country, by the rest of society? He's been judged already in the court of law.
Absolutely, because where do you stop?
Well, Polly, it means Steve Peake has got in touch and says, of course he should be allowed to carry on his job. He's only targeted with all this because he's a professional footballer. Is it fair?
Well, I don't think anyone's arguing that Ched Evans shouldn't be allowed to get a job. And shouldn't be allowed to work and shouldn't be given every chance for rehabilitation. The issue at the moment is the first step towards rehabilitation has got to be acknowledgement of what you've done, acknowledgement that it's wrong, and acknowledgement of the impact of it on the victim. And far from doing that, in fact, he hasn't even spoken out and criticised the people who've hounded and harassed his victim in his name. He's not even suggested that they might stop doing that.
Because I guess...
He's shown no remorse at all.
I guess if he feels he can successfully appeal his conviction, he's not going to say sorry now.
Well, he could invite his supporters not to harass that poor young woman anymore. You know, he could have done that a long time ago. Yes, he is trying to appeal his conviction. We have no idea what the outcome of that is going to be. As things stand at the moment, as we've just heard, he has been found guilty in a court of law of a really serious offence. And the question is not whether he should be allowed to work again, but whether he should be allowed a position of trust in the public eye, where he's going to be a role model for thousands and thousands of people, including young people.
The thing is, footballers who've committed horrible crimes have gone back to play the game. Richard Morse told us, did anyone make a big fuss when Luke McCormack returned to football? Now, if you don't know who Luke McCormack is, he's currently Plymouth Argyle captain, goalkeeper. He used to play for Plymouth Argyle when he killed 2 children and put a man in a wheelchair because of dangerous driving. He then served a sentence and has come back. However, Mark, he does seem to be remorseful.
But you've just reconvicted him again. So he's come out of prison. It's absolutely crucial that society...
Well, so we shouldn't talk about what he was convicted of?
No, we should, but we shouldn't polarise it on individual people who are trying to move on and get on with their lives that have never committed offence since.
But the thing with these people in particular is they are role models. They're footballers. They're performers on a weekly basis in front of children.
I could give you 20 people now who are on TV, who are regular in the media, who are Hollywood A-listers, they're all with criminal convictions. So where does it stop?
But they're not raping people, they haven't killed people.
So where does it stop?
But it does stop somewhere.
Where does it stop?
Would you
Child abuse?
Would you accept, though, that there is a line?
I think the law is the law, and you get an appropriate sentence. And I believe in that system.
OK.
Yeah, it's not up for me to give this sort of emotive, anecdotal sort of opinion of what I think. I believe in the law, that there's a judge that's paid there, there's professionals, there's a barrister, there's a prosecutor, and there's a jury. And I believe that. And I think that when somebody has served their sentence, they should be allowed to enter society successfully.
Polly, last word to you to respond to that.
I don't disagree with that. I totally believe in the principle that offenders should be rehabilitated, and when you've served your sentence, which as has been pointed out, Ched Evans has not actually done, but when you have served your sentence, you should be able to be rehabilitated. Whether you should be able to take on a position, as I've said, in the public eye as a role model, there are a lot of jobs in this country where people wouldn't be able to come back and take a job in that kind of way, where they are being set up as an example for young people to follow when they've shown absolutely no remorse at all for their crime.
Well, we don't know yet if Oldham are going to give them a contract. They haven't said. But Polly, Mark, for now, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thanks.